The John Fredericks Media Network and the John Fredericks radio apps, and I am your Godzilla of the truth in America, your oracle of the deplorables, Mark Wayne Mullen. Always love listening to the guy when he spars up there with the Democrats, especially Bernie Sanders, when he says, I don't really want to hear from you, old man. You're part of this system. You're part of the problem. You've been here longer than I've been born. Well, way to call him out. It's been a great day. Now, the fake news is hilarious. I mean, they are having the ultimate meltdown on President Trump's State of the Union speech. Ultimate meltdown. Unbelievable. And it's funny to watch because they're going nuts because they knew he hit a home run and they knew they were on the run and they knew that when he did the theatrics and said, if you're for putting Americans first over illegal immigrants, stand up. And all the Republicans stood up and not one Democrat stood up. Not one. That is going to be on all ad commercials. That is going to be a soundbite. And that is going to be part of this election. Meantime, the economy continuing to just roar forward. Unbelievable. You know, I went to, it's the first time I did this. Grover Norquist for American Tax Reform has a Tuesday meeting, 10 to 11:30. Gets a lot of speakers there and a lot of updates. And it's pretty good. It was the first time I was there. He invited me to speak to try to get some petition signatures for my campaign, DC GOP Ward 2 chairman. I got one, so that was good. Certainly worth going over there. It's only one metro stop away, but I really enjoyed it. And very informative about a lot of stuff. So we love doing that, or I enjoyed it. But, they had some guy on, one of the guys in the lawsuit that sued Trump over the tariffs. Now, Norquist and the Americans for Tax Reform, they don't like tariffs. They view it as a tax. And of course, this guy was chortling about, how they stopped it and there's going to be a refund and, they can't do it. And the new one he's doing is illegal too. And they're going to stop that. And they're going to, these are guys on our side. This is our side is part of these lawsuits against the tariffs. And, they just don't get it. That's the bottom line. They just don't get it. And it's sad because, these tariffs have been a centerpiece of this economy and bringing jobs back. And if you're only concerned, when you got to go back to the libertarians, the Cato Institute, they don't want any taxes, they want any of this, any government. And they look at tariffs as, an impediment to free trade flowing across nations. And it's all about slave labor. Nobody ever talks about wages or nobody ever talks about American jobs or American sovereignty. It's all about free trade, open borders, because one goes hand in hand with the other. If you're going to have free trade, you might as well have open borders. That's what the thing is. And it's not free trade because it's destroying the country from within. But, the anti-tax guys don't get it. Everything else about the meeting I liked. I didn't say anything. I'm not going to debate the guy that's, they don't want tariffs. They see it as a tax. It's all it is a tax on Wall Street that's got to pay somebody a living wage. That's really what the tariff tax is. The tariff tax is a tax on gangster banksters, hedge funders, and Wall Street tycoons, and billionaire investors, and those venture capitalist companies. Tariffs are a tax on Wall Street tycoons that have to pay their workers a living wage. That's what the tax is. Tax isn't on the consumer. It's on them. And they don't like it because they've been stealing from us for 60 years. Just going and steal right out of our pockets, making this money off the back of the displaced American worker as they scour the earth for slave labor. And I've been saying this for 40 years. I finally had somebody that understood it, President Trump, and now this thing is tied up in the courts. And this whole court thing, is this not annoying to you or what? Are you sick of this whole court thing? Like this court, that overturning everything Trump does? Like these tariffs, like now they're saying there's got to be a refund. Kane and Warner right away, filing legislation for a refund to who? Wall Street? Who are you going to refund it to? Foreign countries? What is wrong with you people? They hate America. They want, you look at these sound bites and you look at the Democrats and they want America to fail to get Trump out and to get power. They want it to fail. They root every day for the stock market to go down, for your jobs to get lost, for you to be unemployed. Every day they root for failure. And they root against the American worker. That's why they didn't stand up. Half of them didn't stand up for the hockey team. They don't want us to win. They hate us. They hate their own country. Because the only way they get power is by fomenting this constant dissent. And how bad Trump is, and how, we got a poll in Texas, and early voting in Texas is way over Republicans, and they're saying, oh, they're going to win Texas. I mean, it's just a string of bad news now. And we got to get motivated. We got to get our people out. That's why, yes, I'm going to go to Virginia. Yes, I'm going to try to defeat this thing. Is it a long shot? Yes. But I got too many callers telling me, what's the word? Button up buttercup or something, right? So sad. So sad. Go down there. We got to do something. We got to fight. You get up every day, you want to fight, right? The only way we win is by fighting, because we know we're in the right, and we know we're in good shape. Tyler says, I see your ears lowered. Good barber. I got my hair cut, all 5 of them at the same time. 888-480-JOHN. So if you want to weigh in, we'd love to have you. 888-480-5646. Now, for all you fans of our show out there, thank you very much for all your fans. I'd like to ask you for a campaign donation to my campaign for Ward 2 DOC GOP chairman. I'm now getting signatures, knocking on doors. Got one yesterday at Americans for Tax Reform. Thank you, Steve, for signing my petition. And it's a slog. You got to go out and make calls, and then go, I go personally get them. I get them myself. I get hired, the team. I don't want to do that, because that's I'd rather do it. It's hard, but then you get to talk to people and see what's on their mind. And of course, D.C. is not exactly, the Republicans here are not exactly MAGA central, right? So it's kind of interesting to go knock on their door, because in D.C. you just can't knock on people's doors because of safety. So what I do is I make an appointment, call them up. I get 1 out of 8 people on the phone, try to talk to them, ask if I can come by and get a signature, get a time. And, a couple of people have said, no, I don't answer the door. I'm like, well, I tell you what, one guy said, okay, I tell you what, I'll ring the bell, I'll leave my petition at the door, and then you sign it, and then you put it back in the door, and then in 5 minutes I'll come back. I'll just go up the street, get a cup of coffee. I mean, this is what I'm up against. Most people, though, that make appointments are nice, and one fellow invited me in. His wife made coffee. That was nice. So yeah, but you got to go out and meet people. So I'm not going to hire somebody to go get signatures. I don't need that. I don't need 100. Not like I need 10,000. I have to hire somebody for that. But you just go out and meet people. You go to an event. So I went to the event? Log Cabin Republicans. I got 8 signatures, and thank you guys for doing that for me. And so you just get them. You just get them one at a time. But go to makedccgreat.com. Makedccgreat.com. If you could give me a campaign donation, I'd really appreciate it. You can do it by check. You can do it online, and it's very easy to do. Makedccgreat.com. Now I have a campaign limit, a donation limit in Washington, D.C. of $200. So if you want to give $200, fine. If you and your wife want to give $200 apiece, that's fine. But $200 is the maximum. But anything helps, because I got a big event on March 16th. We got to fund that. Looks like we got some speakers lined up. Not done deal yet, but I'll tell you about that. But, if there's anybody that's ever going to help us out, it's my D.C. audience. It's my 6 a.m. audience. I'm live in D.C. Just go to makedccgreat.com. If you see it on screen, there's a QR code there, and go right to my donation page. And every little bit helps when you're running one of these campaigns against all odds. But somebody's got to do it, just like somebody's got to go to Virginia, right? Somebody's got to do it. Let's talk about Mamdani here a minute. It's just a snowball fight, says New York City hating cop mayor Zohran Mamdani. It's just unbelievable. This guy hates cops. He's proving it every day. The mayor of New York City just watched his police officers get ambushed, injured, and sent to the hospital, 2 to the emergency room. And you know what he said? He saw the cams, and these guys were throwing snowballs. A mob gathered to throw snowballs at cops. They gathered to throw snowballs at cops filled with ice, hitting him in the face, the neck. Two of them went to the emergency room, and he says it looks like a snowball fight. Monday afternoon, 3 days ago, Washington Square Park, Manhattan. Two uniformed NYPD officers respond to a disorderly crowd call. They respond to it. A mob surrounds them. Think about this. They go to respond to help somebody. They get surrounded by a Mamdani mob. And that's what it is. It's a Mamdani mob. These are cops, not ICE, cops. New York City's finest. They get surrounded by a mob, and they start launching snowballs packed with ice directly at their heads, their faces, their necks. Two officers end up in the emergency room. Lacerations on their faces, injuries to their heads and necks. The NYPD opens then an assault investigation. They release photos of the suspects. The police commissioner calls it, and I quote, disgraceful and criminal. Disgraceful and criminal. Governor Hochul condemned it. Every police union and cop in New York City is furious. Andrew Cuomo condemns it. Eric Adams condemns it. But Mayor Zohran Mamdani, the communist, no problem. He said, I quote, I've seen the videos. It looks like a snowball fight to me. Just a harmless snowball fight. That's it. No condemnation, no call for charges, no visiting the cops in a hospital, nothing. The head of the largest police union called it, and I quote, a complete failure of leadership. And I thought he was being polite. Now, here's what you need to really understand. This isn't an accident. This is not a misstep. This is a pattern. 3 weeks ago, January 24th, NYPD officers in Queens, New York, respond to a 911 call. A family calls for help. Their 22-year-old son is having a mental health episode. He grabs a kitchen knife. He charges directly at the officers with a knife. They gave him every chance to stop. The body cam footage shows them closing a glass door to create distance. They begged him to drop the weapon. He broke through the glass door. He came at them with a knife extended to stab them. They shot him. The officers shot him in self-defense. What else are they going to do? Get stabbed? According to Mamdani, sure. And Mamdani, who watched the same body cam footage that we did, went to the hospital, not to check on the officers, to comfort the knife wielder trying to kill his own cops. Then he held a press conference and said, and I quote, this is a quote, Jabez should not be prosecuted by the Queens District Attorney. His handcuffs should be removed. He tried to kill cops. Let him go. Let him go. Maybe he'll kill again. This is unbelievable. He sided with the man who charged cops with a knife against his own officers. The DA ignored him. They ignored Mamdani, and the district attorney indicted the attacker anyway. Thank goodness for that. Thank the good Lord for that. But the message Mamdani sent to every cop in New York City was crystal freaking clear. Right? Now, who is this guy? How did he get to be mayor of New York City? The guy's an anti-Semite, jihadist communist. Mamdani is a Democrat socialist, basically a communist, who spent years calling the NYPD, in his words, racist, evil, wicked, corrupt. He ran on defending cops. I'm sorry, he ran for mayor on defunding the police. He posted, nature is healing, when he saw a cop crying in the car. This is one sick pup. Okay? And the city elected a mayor. Now, every criminal, every thug, every anti-police agitator in New York City knows the score. The mayor has their back, not cops. If you live in New York City, baby, it is illegal immigrants first. It is criminals first. It is sex offenders first. It is assault, those doing assault first, assault and battery first, and Americans last. This guy's unbelievable. The PBA said it best. Mamdani sent a dangerous message, quote, to every person who might be looking to attack a cop in the future. Today it's snowballs. Tomorrow it's rocks. The day after that, guns, knives, whatever you want. Whatever it is, you don't want to find out. Now, you contrast that with my city, Washington, D.C., where the National Guard and cops are roaming the streets constantly, where there is virtually now no crime. Well, John, it's not the National Guard that's the reason there's no crime. I mean, they can't arrest anybody. You walk down the street and you see National Guardsmen with M16s, armed, ready to go, walking around 2, 3, 4 in a pair, watching everything, direct line of the cops. What the hell are you going to do? Confront them? Yeah, the masked libtards from Northern Virginia and Montgomery County do it because they're masked libtards coming from another county, coming from Northern Virginia on the metro, leaving their gated communities. But the residents of D.C., no. And here's the thing. Every American right now should be at attention because this thing is not going away, right? We keep electing these clowns. This is what's going to happen. Law and order in Washington, D.C. has been restored. It's been formed under President Trump. Law and order restored. Respect for law enforcement is back. The contrast between Trump's vision of a city, mine in Washington, D.C., safe and beautiful, and what the radical communist vision looks like in New York City couldn't be more stark. Cops in the emergency room, the mayor calling it a snowball fight, knife attackers getting hospital visits from City Hall. This is the choice in front of America. This is a choice. I mean, it's right in front of your face. That's all I can say. Let's get to this clip on snowballs. Then I'll get to your calls. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Roll it. For those on the radio, we just played you the clip of a mob throwing snowballs at cops who were called there for a domestic disturbance, trying to help somebody. And a mob surrounds them, and they're pelting them with ice balls and yelling them to get out of here. See, this is now called mob rule. This is where this country is descending into. This is what the choice is going to be in November. This is what the choice is on this Virginia referendum going on April 21st. This clip that you saw, those of you that have video or on TV, should make your heart sink. I mean, seeing that, when a family member calls me and says, hey, I want to get your advice, I'd like to be a DC cop, and you see that, it's like, well, yeah, you can come to D.C., be a cop. Don't go to New York City because that's what you're going to get. You can't even do your job. You're there to help people. The lack of respect is incredible. But this is what the communists do. They want a total breakdown of society. You understand that? This is their mob. This is the Mamdani mob. This isn't a mob. This is the Mamdani mob. Same mob in Minnesota that you're getting. There's a faction that just wants to see this country collapse into chaos, and then they take over. And you're seeing it, folks, every day. And you can't get a starker contrast than New York and Washington, D.C. This is one of the reasons I seriously considered running for mayor, just to make the contrast here. Now I'm running for D.C. GOP Ward 2 to see where it goes, but it's unbelievable. What I saw there, when you see it, you can't believe it. And then for the mayor to say, well, it just looks like a snowball fight to me. Mayor, you got two of your New York City's finest in the hospital, not like treated because somebody hit their hand, neck, face laser in the emergency room. Like, what is wrong with you people? See, they don't care. Power. Illegals, give them power. Illegal votes, give them power. All this thing about, nobody has a birth certificate. It's all nonsense. This is nonsense. And the SAVE Act's not gonna pass. Why? Because we don't have the balls to go to the talking filibuster. Not you, not me, the Republicans. And right now, we're minus 3 Republicans. We got 3 Republicans who already said they're voting no. You already got 3. So even if you had the filibuster, got rid of the things hanging by a thread, what's our margin in the Senate? What, 53-47? You already got 3 Republicans saying they're voting no. If it came up tomorrow, they're voting no. Murkowski and who else? McConnell, that old shriveled up vegetable, and somebody else. Somebody text me or text Tyler, put in the chat. Got 3 Republicans already came out no against the SAVE Act. Why are you a Republican? You don't even want to win. Got 3 Republicans voting no. So even if they passed the filibuster, you would need all 50 votes and Vance. The Republicans you got 3 Republicans don't even want to vote for voter ID. It's incredible, these rhinos that do nothing. All right, let's get to the phone lines. All good. I tell you what, let's go to a quick word from our sponsors, because I do have to pour my first cup of 1775 coffee. When I get back, I got Rob in New York. I got Joe in North Carolina. I've got callers. You want to weigh in? Here's the number. If you got a phone and it dials out, what are you waiting for? I want to hear from you. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Look, folks, this radio program is a community. I keep telling you that. We've been doing this 15 years. This isn't for me, it's for you. And a community has to communicate. It's the 4 letters in community is communicate. You have to communicate. That's why in DC, I bought text lists, I bought email lists. I want to communicate with people. I want to talk to people. I want to communicate. On this show, all you got to do is pick up the phone and call in. Or you can text me at 878-256-9062. Tyler, put that up in the Chiron while I get my first cup of 1775 coffee to share it just with you. Truth and clarity, baby, right here. Stay with us.